Hello, my book and wax friends. I am Amber. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome if you're returning. I post about all things bookish and home fragrance because they are two loves of mine. So today's video is my most anticipated new releases for the month of September, because we are moving into fall spooky season. I'm so excited. And I have the top 10 that I'm probably the most interested in. Of course, it's always hard to find all the ones that are going to be released, but from what I've seen, these are the ones. So let me know in the comments if there's any that are releasing in September that you think I would like. Or that you're just interested in. Please leave it in the comments, whether it's any of the ones I mentioned or if there's others that you are interested in. Okay, the first one I have, and there's no particular order, is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This comes out September 2nd, and it takes place in the same world as the Divine Rivals duology, but it is not following Iris and Roman. So this is set in the same world, as I just said, as Divine Rivals. Matilda carries words and letters throughout the land while guarding a secret from even her dearest allies. A mortal boy keeps dreaming of Matilda and begs her to help him. When she doesn't answer, he becomes the hardened lord of the river. A decade later, Matilda delivers him a letter and comes face to face with the young man in an act of fate that could change the very nature of the gods. So that sounds like it could be good for sure. Sorry, I just realized I plugged in my light and then I didn't actually turn it on. So let's see if it's even gonna work. It's not even gonna work for me. So hopefully there's enough light because it's not working. Okay, so that one sounds really good. I did really enjoy the Letters of Enchantment, the Divine Rivals duology, and I love Rebecca Ross's writing, so I feel like this will be a good one. And it'll be nice to be back in that world. Okay, the next book I have is called If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. That also comes out September 2nd. And it says, my new next door neighbor seems to have everything figured out. Small town golden boy, check. Single dad extraordinaire, check. Hot baker forearms, I didn't notice them, I swear. I, on the other hand, don't at all have anything figured out. Trust me, I didn't think talking over my mom's dream bed and breakfast in Copper Run, Vermont taking over. That makes more sense. Taking over, it was going to be easy. It should be a good place to heal after my divorce, but apparently my scones belong in the garbage with my small talk skills, as pointed out by none other than Cliff. Cliff is inescapable. He knows exactly what people need always. His charm, the way he wears his flannel, even his pastries make not wanting to be friends with Cliff and his daughters pretty hard. Friends? I can make friends. That's safe. Okay, so rom-com type of romance. It looks really cute. And it's giving me September vibes for sure. Okay, the next one is called A Land So Wide by Erin A. Craig. I think this is her adult debut novel. She's written a lot of YA. If you watched my wrap up for July, I did read House of Salt and Sorrows, which is by her. And I do really enjoy her writing style, so I'm looking forward to this. This is the synopsis. Like everyone else in the settlement of Mistaken, Greer Mackenzie is trapped. Founded by an ambitious Scottish lumber merchant, the tiny town on the edge of the American continent is blessed with rich natural resources that have been made its people prosperous, but at a cost. The same woods that have lined the townsfolk's pockets harbor dangerous beasts. wolves, bears, and the bright eyes, monsters beyond description who have rained utter destruction down on nearby settlements. Greer, a map maker and eccentric dreamer, has always ached to explore the world outside, even though she knows she and her longtime love, Ellis Beaufort, have never seen it. Until one day, she and Ellis are meant to finally begin their lives together. Greer watches in horror as her beloved disappears beyond the warding stones, pursued by a monstrous creature. Swiftly realizing that the story she was raised on might be more myth than fact, Greer figures out a way to escape mistaken for the very first time. Determined to rescue Ellis, she begins a trek through the cold and pitiless wilderness. So, it sounds good. Sounds like it could be good. I heard it's like gothic. That's kind of the vibe that Aaron A. Craig always goes for, is like gothic, kind of spooky type of atmospheric books. And that definitely sounds like that as well. Okay, the next one is called The Sleepless by Jen Williams, which comes out September 30th. And it says, welcome to a world where gods and monsters roam the earth. Elver is a guardian of the wild and dangerous monster forest. Saved from the brink of death by a god, her skin will poison anyone she touches. Artair, I think it's Artair. Artair is on a mission, one that takes him face to face with Elver at her most ruthless. But her defenses are useless when she discovers he's the only human impervious to her deadly gift. For Artair isn't human. He's one of the sleepless, cursed to share his body with an evil spirit. Lucian inhabits their body while Artair sleeps, and he is hell-bent on manipulating Elver for his dark purposes. But Elver is harboring secrets too, and she has her own reasons for feigning an alliance with these two souls. So, sounds good. Different take. I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of love triangle. Different take for sure on a love triangle. So that sounds like it'll be really good. Okay, the next one is a cute, cozy fantasy romance. It's called Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. And it comes out September 16th. And it is described as Annie Wildwood is practically perfect in every which way. Her life is a haze of pink magic and impossibly high standards. But when she is tasked with mentoring a troubled teenage witch with extraordinary powers, Annie's charmed existence is quickly thrown into utter chaos. So it says it's set in the same enchanting world as Rewitched, which is another book by the author. Uncharmed celebrates found family, unconditional love, and the joy of swapping perfectionism and people-pleasing for being your true magical self. So that sounds cute. So actually, I don't know if I said I thought it was a romance or like a cozy fantasy romance, but I don't know now from reading that synopsis if there is going to be a romance in it or not. So we'll see. Okay, the next one is called Hopelessly T-Voted by Audrey Goldberg Ruoff and comes out September 16th. And this one I do know is like a fantasy or romance rom-com. After the deaths of his parents, a witch returns to his spooky family manor and joins forces with his former crush. When his parents' spirits warn them of a sinister threat in this witty I'm sorry guys, I'm tripping over my words today. Witty and lyrically unique rom-com in the vein of the Crescent Moon Tea Room and the X-Hex. So it says Azrael Ashmedai Hart must be cursed. He's a witch twice named for the devil. He's making his way back to his family manor in Hallowcross after a failed screenwriting career. He's adopted a cat he's allergic to, and if all of that is not enough, let's see, he's also forced to come face to face with his childhood best friend and former crush. Victoria is the bubbly girl next door Az lost touch with after an awkward incident in college. And she has just been disowned by her parents for quitting business school and buying Azriel's late parents' hopelessly T-voted tea shop against their wishes. Being cut off financially is one thing, but now Vicky also owes a lesser devil for the souls of her parents, promised him in exchange for a gift to summon the dead by touching something they treasured in life, destroying the object in the process. When the spirits all over town, including Az's parents, keep warning her about a sinister threat, Vicky and Az are forced to combine their powers to save the Hollow Cross. That sounds like it'll be fun for sure. Okay, the next one is a fantasy. I think it's a YA fantasy called Thorn Season by Kira Azer. Comes out September 2nd. And the synopsis is, in the kingdom of Daradon, a persecuted few are wielders, able to exert a physical power that extends beyond her vision. A shimmering tendril that can pick a lock, a gentle coil that reaches out to give a loving caress, or an inexorable robe that will kill a man before he knows it, is all around his neck. Feared and mistrusted for their ability, wielders have always been hunted. Alyssa Payne, heiress of a noble lineage, daughter of a hunter family, is also a wielder. And as she approaches her 18th season, Alyssa knows she has escaped execution, so far only through painful self-control and the fragile efforts of her beloved father. Summoned to a harsh and glittering royal court for the debutante season, Alyssa finds herself trapped in a web of hidden intentions and caught between two equally dangerous men. One is a brutal ruler with a handsome face of a fairy tale prince who would see her destroyed in an instant if the truth were known, and the other a beguiling foreign ambassador with secret agendas of his own. So, sounds good. Okay, the next one is a romance. It's called The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O. Clover. It comes out September 23rd. And this is about a girl named Louisa Walsh. She emerged from a tumultuous childhood with a degree in counseling, a wealthy boyfriend, and her sunny outlook on life mostly intact. But that optimism is tested when she's dumped and left unable to afford rent on their gorgeous house in the mountains of Colorado. Even with her life in disarray, Lou knows losing the one stable place she's ever called home is not an option. She asks her reclusive landlord, Henry Rhodes, to let her stay for free in exchange for renting out the house's many rooms as a bed and breakfast. She's shocked when he agrees to her terms, and even more surprised to discover Henry is a handsome 30-something veterinarian with silver at his temples and sadness in his eyes, one who does not take it well when Lou starts marketing her B&B as a retreat for the recently heartbroken. So that sounds like it'll be good. It sounds like maybe a cross between a romance and a women's fiction, but it sounds really good. Okay, the next one looks really fun. It is called The Austen Affair. It is by Madeline Bell and comes out September 16th. Tess Bright just scored her dream role starring in an adaptation of Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey. It's not just the role of a lifetime, but it's also her chance to prove herself as a serious actress. And more importantly, it's her opportunity to honor her mom, who was the biggest fan of Jane Austen ever. But one thing is standing in Tess's way. Well, one very tall, annoyingly handsome person, actually, Hugh Balfour, a serious British method actor. Hugh wants nothing to do with Tess. Hugh is a type A, no-nonsense Royal Academy prodigy, whereas Tess is big-hearted, a little reckless, and admittedly kind of a mess. But the film needs chemistry, and Tess's career depends on it. Sparks fly, but not in the way Tess hoped. when an electrical accident sends the two feuding co-stars back in time to Jane Austen's era. 200 years in the past with only each other to rely on, Tess and Hugh need to ad-lib their way through the Regency period in order to make it back home and hopefully not screw up history along the way. So that sounds like it'll be a fun romp for sure. Anything with Jane Austen, anything that's the Regency era, anything that has a little bit of hijinks in it and the whole time travel aspect, it sounds really fun. Okay, the last one is actually a novella. It is Holly by Adeline Grace. It comes out September 30th. This is the novella following the Belladonna trilogy. So I'm not going to explain any of the synopsis of the story because it'll spoil things for the series. But Belladonna, the first book is about a girl, which my mind just went blank as to what her name is. But she is an orphan. Her parents died when she was a baby, and she's been passed around from one family member to the next as she has been growing up, because they all seem to mysteriously die on her. And she is about to inherit. When she turns, I think it was 20, she inherits all her family's estate and money and whatever. She's well off. But until then, she ends up going to her kind of last resort, her final family members that are around and willing to take her. And she ends up finding out that her cousin mysteriously passed away. They think it's an illness, but she is able to see the dead, and she realizes that it wasn't an illness, so there's a mystery. And then she has this connection with Death, who is an actual person, and it starts from there. It's a fun series for sure. I did really enjoy it. So Holly is the little holiday novella that follows that trilogy. So I'm looking forward to reading that one for sure, to get back in with all those characters. So that's it, you guys. Those are probably the 10 most anticipated new releases for me that come out in the month of September. Again, let me know in the comments, do any of these sound good to you? Is there any that I haven't listed that are coming out that you're really looking forward to in September? Let me know all those things. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.